Feels good. Check it. We the topic of discussion. Whisper in the ear, had a blush. Saying what it is, what it was. Baby, we the topic of discussion. Do you want to roll with a boss? You don't gotta worry about the cost. I'm high up, baby, I'm a star. I'm highly up, baby, I'm in charge.
I mean, man, yeah, put the work in. What's going on, everybody? What's going on? It's the Commissioner, Trill Dollar Bill, man, and thank you for tapping into another episode of the Commissioner's Recap. You know what I'm saying? You see that picture? That's a dope picture, right? I love that picture, man. Yeah, you're here. You're locked in with me, man. It's the Commissioner's Recap, and I got a dope special guest in the building with me today. You know what I'm saying? But before we get there, let's have a word from our... Yeah, I like to get that out of the way. You know, shout out to D-Rock Clothing. They hold us down and, you know, they help us represent the brand and everything. Shout out to IBOXING Hub. Please like and subscribe. Once again, you're locked in to the Commissioner's Recap with me, the Commissioner, Rae Trilogy. And also, you can go and download my new single, which you heard on the intro, Topic of Discussion, out now on all streaming services. Like I told you before, I got a special guest in the building. This guy, I got a pleasure of meeting this gentleman on one of the spaces. Shout out to Red Corner Boxing, shout out to Jams, and shout out to Mr. Neutral. And I got a chance to meet this gentleman, this brother, on one of these spaces. And his boxing mind, his boxing IQ, and the passion and the love that he had for I just connected with it right off the bat. It's not too many people that you could be like, oh, this is the one. This is one of them ones, you know what I'm saying? But he is definitely one of them ones. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure you know him. I'm sure the world knows him all over. It's the Boxing Man. Shout out to you, my brother. Thank you for coming on to the Commissioner's Recap on IBOXINGHUB-USA. I really appreciate you taking out the time out of your day to stop by and talk boxing with me. How are you doing, my brother?
Yeah, first of all, it's an absolute honor and a pleasure to be invited to chop it up with you. Like you say, we've connected a few times and certainly got the same type of passion for the game, right? And the nice thing about it is I'm not saying that we have, but you're of the mindset like me. It's okay to have a difference in opinion, because that's what makes it nice, right? If we're going to sit here and pat each other on the back and agree with every point with each other, then that ain't going to be funny and it's going to be boring. So what I really like about you, and you always do it with your commentary on the X space, is that people can have an opinion. That's cool. Let's talk. And I'm sure that we'll have some discussions today. We will probably agree on a lot of things, and you never know, we might disagree on one or two things too.
Yeah, definitely. Especially as long as we are gentlemen about everything, you know. Everybody's not going to agree with everything that somebody says. We're human beings. We all have different feelings and different passions about certain things. Jumping right in, there's a lot going on in boxing. And make sure that y'all go and follow the Boxing Man right now on X at the Boxing Man. You know, you can catch him on there doing his thing. You can catch him on every shows. You know, he's always on there giving his input, great input as well. We're gonna jump right in. There's a lot going on in boxing, a lot of crazy stuff going on around combat sports as a whole. Right off the rip, I'm gonna go right into it. Boom. Breaking news. It's been breaking news all over boxing. November 15th, Gervonta Tank Davis will take on the problem child, Jake Paul. I haven't given this much thought on this. I've been silent, and while everybody's been losing their minds, you know. Everybody's been going crazy about this fight and about Tank taking this fight with Jake Paul. Me, I'm really, you know, I really don't have how do you feel about when you first heard about that? When you first heard about like see when I first seen it, right? I was like, and I sat back and I was like, I'm gonna let people do their thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna let people do their thing. I'm gonna sit back. I really didn't have too much of an opinion. I sat back as the when you first seen that, what did you think?
Nah, bro, listen, go through my feed. Same as you. I've been silent. I've been silent. Go through it. You know I like to speak. I like to speak, and I ain't said nothing on this one because I'm like, what? Okay. I'm having to defend because obviously I'm a big anti-Joshua fan. I'm having to defend AJ for taking this fight, and like I'm like, yeah, you know what? AJ might be at the end of his career now, and and just like, okay, he's going to smoke this guy. He's going to put a bit of reputation back on boxing's name. He's going to get paid a massive bag. It's going to globally be a great fight. And then you go from a guy that's this big to a guy that's is not in fame, but like in stature in terms of what's going to be in front of him in the ring. And it's like, what? So that to me, I was just about to give it a little bit of attention, the AJ Paul thing of like, all right, let me obviously he's going to get smoked, but let me start to get a little bit more invested in this. And then to flip it and go the other way and fight Tank, then it just says what somebody just commented, circus time. It's circus time. So I'm not even mad at it because it's circus time. It's just a little circus. I mean, the WWE, that was right. Boxing New WWE. Like it makes no sense to anybody that likes boxing. But I tell you what, because of the WWE factor, people are going to tune in and it's going to get that global revenue. And can you be mad at Tank? Why? Tank? Like, mad at Tank? Why?
I'm with you 100%. I'm with you 100% on that. That's what my thoughts were. I said because yeah, but I'll let you finish. But yeah, I totally agree with you. Why be mad at Tank?
Tank's obviously got some things going off outside the ring. You know, if he's left too long to his own devices and he's not in the gym and Calvin's not got his arm around him and he's off doing it, it can be a problem for the boy. You know, at the end of the day, he's come up from nothing to being very, very wealthy, rich man. And we can't deny some of the things that he's done in the ring. I don't like, I'm not even going down this, duck that, all that talk, right? Bottom line is, when you tune into a Tank Davis fight, you're excited, right? The last time out wasn't very good. Probably got very lucky with that decision. But I can't be mad at him as a 135 fighter or, you know, taking on this kind of YouTube sensation of like global superstar of terms of like, and they're offering, I don't believe the numbers though, Trill. I don't believe the numbers. Commercially, I'm seeing tweets saying 200 million. No. That's ridiculous. But whatever, it's going to be like the biggest bag. And all he's going to do is probably be like what Floyd did with his brother. It'll just be a lot of dancing around the ring and we're all going to watch it. So listen, I can be mad at Tank about certain things. I ain't mad about him about this one. Not a chance.
Thank you on that one. Yeah, because this was breaking news. And like I said before, like Tank told us since day one, he wasn't doing boxing because he loved it. He wanted it, or it like he was saying he wasn't doing it because he loved it and he wanted to do it. He was doing it because he had to. How do we get mad at a kid? Yeah, we just about to say.
Just hope, Trill, that like we don't see another, and I mean the bag is probably too big, but we don't see a Bronus situation here where there's a huge fall off because he's talented. But I have been a bit scared when I've heard the recent comments of like, I'm probably done. He's at the height of his life and talking about depression and talking about being done with the sport. You give this kid 50 mil. You give this kid 50 mil and don't put good people around him. That could be concerning as well. But in terms of Jake Paul, there'll probably be some form of rules in that Jake Paul can't hit him with 220 pounds behind him. Like there'll probably be something in it. But yeah, I ain't mad, Trill. I ain't mad.
Yeah, I'm not mad at all. Everybody talks about the passion and stuff like that. I talked about that before with Tank. I felt like this was the end. He was been talking about retirement, not wanting to be in the sport for too long. Talked about promises that he made to Al Heyman that he wouldn't be in the sport too long. He was talking about having a big fight, cash out fight. And actually, this was the fight that he was going to announce after the Roach fight. Depending on how that went down, this was the fight that he was planning on, I thought, retiring on. You know, he was just trying to make the amount of money he was wanted to make. Like he said before, he told us countless of times he wasn't doing. He's not like all these other fighters who got in here because of their dad got him in here, or because they wanted to, because they had the passion for it. He said he did this because he had to. It was because he had to get out of the situation that he was in. How do you get mad at a kid who's been telling us from day one he doesn't care about legacy, being known as the greatest? He was just trying to make it out of the environment that he came from, and that's a win for him.
Let me ask you this. Sorry to cut you off, bro. Let me ask you this. So when Floyd took on the other point, like everybody at the time, all the naysayers, he's killed his legacy, he's done this, he's done that, he's done the other. When do we even talk about that fight anymore? Or do we just drop back to talking about Pretty Boy Floyd? Do we talk about, the defense, his defense when he turned into money? Like, just we talk about that. So the reality is that people can be mad at the state of boxing, of which we'll probably go into. The state of boxing is a bit of a circus, is a bit of a WWE. But none of these fans are going to check in on Tank in 15 years' time. Exactly. Right? None of these fans are going to do shit. They're going to talk right now and say, it's a mockery, it's a mockery. Yeah. Well, it's happening. So if Tank don't take the bag, AJ's going to take the bag. So they're not stupid. Fans will forget this little, unless Jake Paul knocks him clean out, then he'll be a meme for the rest of his life. But the bottom line is, when all's said and done, none of us are talking about what Floyd's exhibitions. We left all Floyd's exhibitions behind.
No, and very much so, like just like what you said. And in 15 years, these fans are not going to be checking on Tank Davis and about how his kids are doing. How are they being fed well? Are they we always talk about wishing fighters wanting to have money so they can take care of themselves or set themselves up for life after boxing. This is what he's doing. Yeah. This is what he's doing. He's setting himself up for life after boxing. This is not what he wanted to be doing. He's been telling us that this is not what he wanted to be doing. I don't see nothing wrong with him, because this is what we want from all our fighters. So why are so many people mad at Tank? This is what I
get why they're mad, because it's wrong that this is happening, right? In terms of, but the problem that we've got is it ain't going anywhere. It's happening. Yeah. So I got nothing but respect for these fighters that say, "Give me that money, give me that money." All right, if that's on the table and you ain't going anywhere, the only bright spot we had was AJ would have not gone in that ring and not played the go 10 rounds with him and don't hit him. AJ would have let him stay there for a round, and then he would have starched him. He would have completely starched him. So we were probably a little bit excited about that. But whatever. Look, Tank's got his problems outside the ring, and I'd say hopefully we starts to put some good management around him that can help him and that can guide him a little bit. But ultimately, for me, any boxer that can get the bag right now in the state that boxing's in, take it.
Yeah, I was saying that too about with Tank. Tank, where he had going on, I seen a lot of people was happy. I went on X and they was happy that he caught this case, and they was wishing for his downfall. I've never been the type to wish jail or death on any man, and a lot of people, if they fans get so gladiatorish that they start wishing ill will on these fans, and they forget that these fighters are human beings at the end of the day. They in there getting punched in the face for our enjoyment. Yes, they're getting compensated, but they're still humans at the end of the day. I see. That's why I said I did a space about it, and I said a lot of people was talking and this, that, and I said, let it play out. Let it play out and see what happens. Of course, it was thrown out, or it was, the lady or whatever took back, or whatever what she said or whatever. But this is the state of boxing. You got to deal with. He's been talking about that, his mental health. We've been talking about his children and about leaving the sport. Once you're leaving the sport, right? Like Floyd was leaving the sport. That's why he was done with boxing when he did the exhibition. Is this a knock? When his 50th fight was against Conor. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Is this wrong for if Gervonta Davis, which I'm thinking that this might really truly be the last time we see him in the ring.
Possibly.
I,
And with that type of bag, Trill, like, it's just he's never going to have to do anything ever again. I mean, again, though, I don't like to go into the personal side of it, because I'm sure if you heard the original story from the female, that, like, you know, you got to feel for that side too, if there's any truth in it. And I'm not standing up for anybody that's acting inappropriately outside the ring. But what I will say is, if you can find anybody on this X space that's toxic, right? That want to see people down for, that call people a duck, that say why they're taking that fight. Well, they're playing the game. The game is the game. It ain't like the gladiators from way back.
Back in the days, yes.
The gladiators had to fight the gladiators to get the dough. These boys can now have a tick over and earn big dough, Trill. So like, they're playing the game. And we talk about legacy. There's very few fighters left that are looking at legacy right now. It's all about the money. I mean, there's a few. Usyk's a legacy guy, but he's getting well paid for it. You like to think of Crawford and Canelo, which we'll probably speak about. There's some legacy in what they're doing. But ultimately, the state of the play right now with the Saudi money, it's get paid for minimal contact.
Yeah, that's what it is. Definitely what it is. Prior to this, everybody was thinking that Tank was going to get in the ring August 16th. They thought that he would get in the ring with Lamont Roach. That fight is not happening. And that's sad. That's sad, because I really honestly thought that he needed that, because even going on before the fight, I said that this was going to be a difficult fight for him because of everything that I know the history of boxing. Anytime a fighter talks about retirement or talk about things and they got outgoing out, you can't have 1 foot in and 1 foot out. You got to have both feet in. You know, usually it's a bad out and bad performance. So I said, don't be surprised if Lamont goes out here and he has a wonderful performance against Tank. That being said, I thought that was what Tank needed. He needed that fire. He needed something that gave him that, wanted to get back in the boxing and stuff again. But maybe I was wrong. But that's sad, because where does Lamont Roach go from here? You know, I think that he was really banking on getting in there with Tank and proving that maybe that this wasn't a fluke. Maybe this wasn't a bad night at the office for Tank. He just had his number. He was his Verdant Forest to his Sugar Shea Mosley.
Yeah. Well, two points to this, bud. I think the only thing as fans of the sport and fans of wanting to see Tank do well was, after that fight, was you got to run that back. Right, you can't. If we're gonna stick with you, you got to run that back, because there's some things that have gone off in that fight that ain't right. So you got to run that back. But when you think about it, because he doesn't want to run it back right now, he's not in the space. He's not in the headspace for it. So this is a genius move to fight Jake Paul, because it takes everybody's eyes off the fact that Roach is just put on the sideline going, look, not only did I have my moment robbed from me, in my opinion, I think he had his moment robbed. And I'm a big believer, Trill, like, everybody has that moment in their life where it's there. That's your moment, right? And that was his moment, regardless of who you think's a better fighter and da-da-da. He had his moment that night, and it was taken away from him from bad judge calls and bad refereeing as well. So he now sits there going, well, that's okay. Okay, when he's calmed down, he gets his management get around him and say, chill. They're going to pay you a fortune for this rematch. Mm-hmm. And you felt him now. You felt him. You know, you can do this. So now he's like, right, let's go. Let's go. I'm going to get paid. And I've been in there. I've felt him. I've smelt him. I know what I can do with him. To have that taken away from him, that's disastrous, because there is no big money fight for Lamont Roach right now, because based on his last performance, Trill, no one's going to want to fight him.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of the who needs him guy.
There was people saying that, you know, I remember him and Shakur Stevenson going back and forth, and Shakur was saying, if you don't get in there with Tank, I will give you a shot. What do you think about that fight if him and Shakur got in there and mixed it up? I think that Shakur will come out on top, but I think that would be a good fight. I'm not mad at that fight.
No, listen, I don't care what people say about Shakur, because I love the sport, bro. Like, and I can turn all the commentary off and watch him slip and jab and turn corners, and And yeah, okay, there's times where you want him to step on it a little bit more. But Shakur's special, in my opinion. In my opinion, it's not. I'm not a Shakur fan. I'm not a Tank fan. I don't want to get down all that rabbit hole. But I feel like Shakur's ring IQ would have too much for Lamont Roach. Would have too much.
Yeah, definitely would have had too much for Lamont Roach. And fantasy fight never gonna happen. But Shakur Stevenson in Tank. When I first brought up that fight, right, going off of the old fights, I said that I thought it was an interesting fight. I thought it was a good fight. I thought that Shakur Stevenson will be winning on points, but while he's winning on points, he will be getting touched to the arms, touched to the body, stuff like that. So by the time the 10th or 11th round came, he'll be softened up, and Tank will probably be able to get him out of there between the 10th and 11th round. After seeing Tank's interview where he talked about, getting out of the sport and seeing the performance from Lamont Roach and then seeing the recent performances from Shakur Stevenson, I honestly think that Shakur Stevenson will pull away with that fight. Unanimous decision. I think that he pulls away from with that fight. I once thought that Tank would stop him. Am I wrong for thinking this?
I look, again, just saying, Shakur's getting hammered, isn't he, for the boring and all the rest of it? But
he was. Yeah. It seemed like everything took a turn, though. After his last performance, everything took a turn, and he's getting a lot of love. The love that
he needs it. He needs it because he's special. In my opinion, he's special. So, look, I feel like that fight, I would go with exactly what you just said. It's going to be tap, 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 turn the corner, tap, tap, tap. Tank could be frustrated, but what we need to know is if Shakur did switch off at any point and Tank saw it, it'd be interesting to see what would happen there. Because I can't recall. You tell me, Trill, has Shakur ever took one flush on the whiskers?
Yeah, we never really seen him. But that's a good thing.
He's too elusive.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It was like a good chin is one that never gets tested.
100%. So, yeah, I mean, again, fantasy fight, I'd love to watch it. With the only thing, there is a bit of the circus going on. But the one thing is if everybody's healthy, everybody's in a good mindset, and Turkey wants it, these fights will happen because Turkey will just give them ridiculous amounts of money.
Yeah, definitely. Moving right along, we are getting closer to September 13th. Canelo Alvarez versus Terrence Crawford. Both guys have been training hard. We've seen Shakur in the training camp with Bud, helping him get ready. And we've seen Boots in Canelo's camp, helping him get ready. Looks like both fighters is taking this serious. A lot of people were complaining about the undercard, but I was looking at it, and it looks like a decent undercard for the free fight we were getting. What do you think about the undercard of this fight?
I don't care. sorry to the boys that are applying their trade down. I don't care. I need to get to that quickly, and so I'm not bothered. Like, again, boxing, they're always going to moan about there's so much moaning going off about cards and stuff like that. But you would watch amateurs for 6 fights to get to that fight. You just the main card is the main card. And I think I remember Frank Warren put a card on which was when Tyson Fury and I think it was for Tyson Fury and Dylan White, and the undercard was awful. But sometimes they have to pay a load of money for the market value. They pay a lot of money to the top boys, and the below boys just have to sit in and they'll do their best. There's a couple of fights on there that'll catch fire, and it'll be interesting, and it'll be good for us to be all sitting there excited, looking at the clock, waiting for those ring walks. But yeah, it's again, not mad at the undercard because I can't wait to see the main fight.
Yeah, definitely. What do you think about the build-up for this fight? Do you think it's been great promo for the magnitude of this fight? And do you believe, because a lot of talk has been basically really around the undercard. Is the undercard respectable enough for the magnitude of this fight? And I know this is a 2-part question, so we'll go with that one because we were just talking about the undercard. Do you think it's a respectable undercard to be on a fight of this magnitude?
Yeah, no. No, no, I don't, mate. But the thing is, as well, just the reason why I paused a little bit there, because I'm thinking of that Ring magazine card with Benavidez and Yard, and you see, it's not top boys fighting top boys all the way, but there's top boys on the card. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and I'm excited about that one because it's like, oh, I get to see him, and then I get to see him, and then I get to see that one. So whereas this one, this is all about the main fight. So yeah, the undercard fighters, it does not live up to what we're about to see. However, if there's a few knockouts, there's some good fights, people will forgive it. Because I feel like which we're going to get onto in a second, I feel like we're not going to be disappointed with this fight, in my opinion.
Do you think the build up, like, this is a really important fight? I'm not gonna hold you. I think this is really important fight. I think it's important for the sport. The reason why I said this is important because it's an actual big boxing match. It's an actual big boxing event. You got Terrence Crawford, daring to be great. We say that all the time, but he's really daring to be great. He's going against the guy that I think is the face of boxing, Saul Canelo Alvarez. And who is the undisputed champion at 168. This is a big fight. This is a real fight. This ain't a WWE fight. This is a real fight. I feel disrespected. Just like you, boxing man, I'm just like you. I'm not a fan of fighters.
Yeah.
I think fighters are cool. I think there's some fighters that's cool, some fighters that I like to watch more than others. I'm a fan of boxing.
Yeah.
And I feel like, to me, I don't think that this has been enough buildup for how great this fight is. You know, I think that this fight, if Crawford pulls this off, which I think is a hard task, like I said, I believe in weight classes for a reason. You know, and Saul's been great at his weight class and what he's been able to do. You know, he's a tremendous fighter. You know, he's in everybody's top 5, if not 3, of Mexican fighters.
Yeah.
Not only if he's not in your top 4 fighters. Yeah. Do you think that this? Am I just being a brat, or do you think that this buildup hasn't been enough for the magnitude of how this should be? I should be turning on my TV, and I should be seeing the ads for this everywhere, and I'm not seeing it.
It's a really good point, and I hadn't thought about that until you said it, to be honest, because I'm just thinking of the little 2-date tour that they did, and then there was a little bit of a push and a pull, weren't they? Like there was a little bit of something where they were sizing each other up. But yeah, when you put it like that, we are being a little bit disrespected. It's interesting though, because you must be on them too, all these WhatsApp boxing groups, and then like I'll wake up and there'll be a voice note. Oh, bro, I slept last night. I think Crawford's going to do it, and so there's more of us that love it, that we're promoting it to each other. But what we're not seeing is the mainstream media are not picking up. Obviously the X space, we're all talking about it because we're all hyped. We're all very hyped. But the mainstream media, no, they're probably not doing enough. And I think the fight will probably ultimately will go into a rematch. And the second fight will be bigger.
Yeah, definitely. You said you think this will go into a rematch? Said because you think that Crawford pulls it off? You think Crawford can?
Well, no. And again, I change my mind daily. And I think if I go on a few of these, I think people are going to clip it. And every time they clip it, I keep changing my mind. So there'll be a fun.
Okay. It's one of those things. It's one of those things because I'm listen. I like Saul Canelo Alvarez. I've been following his career. I've been saying it since he beat Kermit Cintron. I was like, he's going to be great. He's going to be a superstar. You know what I'm saying? Even when he fought Floyd, I said, and he came back from there, I noticed that he was learning things. He learned a lot from that fight with Floyd. And then I admired everything that he has done. And like I said, at 168, he's the man. You know, I said, if anybody can do it, There's been a lot of people who have tried to move up these weight classes, but if there's anybody can do it, who has enough talent to do it, it would be Terrence Bud Crawford. And I think if he can pull this off, we'll be talking about him like how we talk about Sugar Ray Robinson, because he'll be the first to be able to say that he is 3-time undisputed champion in 3 different weight classes, and he took out the man to do it. A lot of people were going to talk about who he fought at 140, who he fought at 147, but people don't care about that. At the record books don't care about he fought this, but they just care about accomplishments and the things and things that you got, trophies along the way. That's accolades. That's what they're going to talk about. Nobody talks about Rocky Marciano when he fought these people and how old these guys was when he fought these people. No, they talk about he was undisputed and that he beat these guys. They're not going to talk about the analytics behind everything. Our kids are not going to talk about when they get to be 25 and 25 years from now. They're not going to be talking about that. It's like, he was 3-time world champion. Not, he fought Victor Pascal. And you know what I'm saying? They're not going to talk about none of that. Yeah. They're just going to talk about the accomplishments. So yeah, I'm with you. It's hard to decide because Terrence Crawford has been great. I watched Terrence Crawford. I remember seeing him fight at 135, and he got the call to last minute to go in there against Prescott, who just beat Amir Khan. And he whooped his butt. And then instead of staying there and be able to get the belt there, he went back down to finish where he was started, and he became champion at 135. Then he moved to 140, became undisputed there.
Yeah.
Watching him, he's been great. He's been sensational. Where he was able to do the Earl spins and stuff like that. He's just showed and proved every time he went in there. So if it's anybody that can pull it off, I would have to be him. But I'm still going the edge to Saul. So yeah, you're not at fault.
I'm gonna break it down for you. This is where my brain's at, but I get more and more excited as it gets closer. This is where my brain's at. So when you get in the last few years, when you get the Canelo call, you get the bag, right? So first and foremost, you get the bag. Then you only have to do is survive. Now, Trill, roll with me a little bit here, right? The last few fights, they're going there to survive. Think about them. I'll forget the Bivol one. He didn't go in there to survive. He was like, nah, I'm too big. I'm too big for you. I'm going to bully you, actually. So Bivol, forget that one. Rip that one up. Bivol, no. But think about the fights recently. Skull went in there to survive. Yeah. Did Canelo do enough? Maybe not. But like, if you watch those clips where he's just on the back foot. So he's gone for a walk. Charlo just went to survive. Berlanga went to survive. They're going to survive. Whereas this is the important bit. Crawford ain't going in there to survive. Not a chance. Hey, listen, I say about these two fighters that they're the best downloading fighters that you'll ever see. Both of them. It's touch. In the first round, it's touch. Let me just see how close that is to landing. Let me just roll in here and tap the body to see if that's on. Both of them, they download information. And around about round 3, they start unleashing. Once they've touched their fighters, once they've figured it out. I've got a weird analogy. Don't be surprised if you see Hagler Hearns in the first round here, where they say, you know what, I'm actually going to get at him, see what he's made of. So if Canelo's got anything left, Bud's going to find it. But the one thing is, we're all talking about, Canelo's not knocked anybody out in X amount of fights, da-da-da-da. But they go to survive. They took up. It's a victory if they don't get knocked out, if they go 12 rounds with one of the greatest Mexican fighters, one of the greatest. He's in the top 10, probably one of the greatest fighters of all time. If we can survive with him, then that's on the resume. Whereas Crawford ain't like that. Crawford will still come for blood. And I can't wait for that because he will download. It'll be interesting if they download both of them. But Crawford will let his hands go. That's 100 because he's spiteful, isn't he, Trill? He's spiteful.
Yeah, he definitely got a dog about him. I remember in the fight with the Sean Porter fight, and they was telling him he was down. He was like, "Yeah, really?" He went in there and turned it up. But it got a certain type of I don't know what it is. but he got a different type of dog in him. He's not gonna let you just sit there and beat up on him. Shout out to Mr. Neutral, the class.
Big up, Mr. Neutral.
Much love to you, my
boy.
brother. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot going on. It's a lot going on, and we've seen these guys showing off their sparring partners, their famous sparring partners.
Yeah.
You know, you had, like I said before, we had Bud in there with Shakur, and you had Canelo in there with Boots, which I think will be good because, you know, Boots is a fighter that's, you know, could do southpaw, but he also switches like Crawford. He can switch and he can do.
So Boots is getting a tough time right now for various different reasons. Some of it I won't go into, but being caught like trying to say Boots of your level, you shouldn't be anybody's sparring partner. Trill, why would you not go in there with one of the best?
Thank you. You're sharpening yourself too. Just you're getting some education.
Being inside, watching those little inside moves that he does and going, oh shit,
yeah,
I could add that.
Yeah, why not? You can learn something from the two-time undisputed champion. You can learn something from the great Saul Canelo Alvarez. I don't know why people are bugging right now. I think you know what it is. It's not who's right, it's who's liked. It's not who's right, it's who's like. People like Bud, so they don't want to see him in there helping Canelo. Because you know how it is with boxing. Boxing becomes ridiculous because there's a lot of tribalism and a lot of crap that comes along with boxing that I don't subscribe to. You know what I'm saying? But that's what it is. I think that's good. It's good on both sides. You know, it's good on both sides. I think that Boots is getting to learn something from the great Saul, and I think that Saul is getting youth. And getting to see, you know what I'm saying, getting something out of getting good work from Boots as well. So I think that's a good match. And I'm not mad at either fighter. Like, I'm not mad at Crawford being in there with Shakur Stevenson.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
These and to be fair to them both, they ain't taking sparring lightly, are they? They're bringing in world-class fighters.
Yeah. Yeah, they're bringing in and both guys, and these guys can learn something from each other. You know what I'm saying? Which I think
in fact, Trill, think about this. If we were to do a top 10 list of the 10 most exciting fighters that were, obviously we might not call Canelo exciting anymore, but if we were to do a list, right, those 4 fighters they're in there, and they're sparring each other. Like we'd be putting them in, wouldn't they? So this just shows you how serious that Canelo and Crawford are taking it, because Canelo bringing Boots in is a genius masterstroke. That is a genius masterstroke, because Boots is going to try and put a show on as well.
Yeah,
let Canelo know. Listen, we might have to run this at some point. So I ain't just coming here to stargaze. I'm coming in to learn. I'm coming in to see something.
Yeah, I'm here to show and prove. This is a young bull.
Yeah,
he's coming to show and prove. And like, listen, I belong. You know, so he's coming in and show and give Canelo some good work. I'm not mad at that at all. The Ring Magazine's heavyweight rankings came out, and I seen a lot of people, you know, have some things to say about it, but I wasn't mad. I actually wasn't mad. I felt like certain people should have been a little higher, but they had Usyk at number 1, Fury 2, Parker 3, Cabiel 4, 5, Dane Dubois 6, Joshua Hergovich 7, 8, Wardley 9, Zane Bacoli, is 9, and then they had Young Moses at 10.
Sure. What? Why we mad? Whatever. Like,
excuse me. They had Bacoli, and then they had Young Moses at 11. Excuse me.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, I don't know if we're gonna get onto it, but I have my thoughts about Moses. I'm protective because obviously I'm so excited about this young man. But if anyone's mad that Moses ain't higher up, you just need to chill. We just need to chill. But maybe we'll get onto that. But in terms of those rankings, Trill, sure, they're okay, fine. I mean, is Fury? That means Fury's still active then, does it?
Yeah.
You know, is he retired? Is he not retired? What game are we playing today? I mean, he's in the gym today. So does that put him back in the rankings because he's in the gym today? So
you can't believe anything that Mr. Tyson Fury says. You know, I think, you know, he was just saying about Moses. He's high on Moses. He even thought that Moses beats Usyk, but we know that Usyk lives in Tyson Fury's head rent free furniture and everything.
Yeah, but I didn't agree with that because Tyson is very good at playing a role, right? Because he was moving the situation away from him fighting Moses. Did he once say, "But I'd love to take him on"? He just said he beats Joshua, he beats Usyk, he beats everybody else. Didn't then front himself up and said, "But you know what? Young Buck wouldn't run with me." He was just like, "Let me give this clickbait of he beats Usyk. Then if he can beat Usyk, then no one's going to talk about me fighting him."
Yeah, I was looking at young Moses as being 11 on this list, but I was looking at this list as far as I see Usyk, I see Fury, I see Parker, all these guys on this list. You tell me. Before I get to that question, who would you want to see the young man Moses in there with next? I'm going to tell you, I would love to see him in there with Hrgović. After seeing Hrgović performance, them guys being on the same card, I would love to see him get in there with Hrgović.
I love that fight.
And if he does that, he'll be number 7. Because if you beat the man, you take that man's spot as far as these rankings is concerned. He's at a number 11. I like that fight. What do you think? What would you want to see young Moses?
Again, said that we disagree. We haven't disagreed yet, so I'm sure that will come up at some point. But no, Hrgović fantastic because Hrgović comes, and the thing is with Hrgović, he's hittable. So it's brilliant matchmaking, and yeah, true. That's the intelligence of building the fighter properly. So then we go Hrgović. He beats Hrgović. Then maybe we go Parker, right? We see what Parker's saying. We move him to Parker. Then he gets to go to one of the big boys. I mean, people are talking about Fabio Ward. Well, they ain't going to fight. Ben Davidson trains them both. Yeah, he has to keep them out. He has to keep them at separate times in the gym from them wanting to kill each other. So, like, he's gonna stay away from that fight for now. So, because that would be a fan-friendly fight too. But I don't want to see him move too quick. I mean,
yeah. I was gonna say that too. I was gonna say that. I'm with you on that as well. I wouldn't want to see him move too quick. I think we got too greedy as boxing fans.
Because Dylan White. Dylan White gets a lot of trash talking. At the end of the day, is he world class? No, but he's been good for boxing in the era that he's been there because he would fight anybody. At the time, we can only fight who we could fight because what was available. He sat as a mandatory for Deontay Wilder for like 4 years or something ridiculous, and the WBC wouldn't give him his crack at the title. And his losses are to Povetkin, AJ, and Tyson Fury, and so no shame on those losses. And then so when he gets in there with Moses, you go, all right. 100% Moses is going to have the chops tested today. We're going to see. Dylan's going to catch him with that left hook as he comes in. But the moment we seen him hit Dylan on the side of the head, it was like, oh, this is a shell of a man.
Yeah. This
is a shell of a man. I tell you, Trill, you probably saw it. The setup was he smashed his body 15 seconds in.
That's what I tell everybody. It was right to the body. It was that step jab to the body.
Boom.
Had him leaning forward, and then that's when he caught him with the hook.
Bang. Yeah, so what we've done now is because he's dispatched of Dylan White and the resume that Dylan White's got, we've gone, and Turkey's not helping it. I want to see the Usyk fight next. It's been said that he's going to fight Pulev next in December. And everyone's like, why is he fighting Pulev? Yes, fight Pulev. Do it. Like, he needs some ring hours. Like, we can't, this kid could be a great. But if you put him in there and we move him too quick, and then Usyk gives him an absolute boxing lesson, I know the whole Tyson thing. Tyson, when he was in that heyday where he could just the fear of the fighters that fought up against him. I think that we're in a situation now in boxing where we try and move some of these prospects too quick, and very often, Trill, they end up failing because of that, don't they?
Yeah, definitely. I definitely didn't want to see Moses in there with Usyk. I wanted Usyk to, after his fight with Parker, give Parker a chance because I thought he was the only one that was deserving of a chance. So I was saying give Parker a chance and then let Usyk ride off in the sunset, and then the young Moses can collect the belts if he wanted to. I seen that he can fight Hergovich, and then even getting it. I even see a fight with Gerald Big Baby Anderson couldn't do. Yeah. Try to go in there against Martin Bacoli. I thought that would be good. That would get the fans talking, you know, because they see what he did to the other young start. See if he can do it to this young start, just to get the conversation going, and then he can go off after he gets some more rounds underneath his belt. You know what I'm saying? Go off it, and he's still young. He has time.
Yeah, and there's lots of fights that you could have. Like even let's not. I don't know. Daniel Dubois just got really dealt with quite heavily. Let's not rule him out of the mix of being part of something here. Now that fight with Dubois and Moses could be a great British fight. You know, definitely.
That could definitely be a good fight. There's a lot going on. Shout out to the young man Moses Atama.
Last time I was back in England, Trill, I met him, and he's already at the young age he is. He's already got an aura around him where it's like very cool, calm. And I was like, as you do a little bit of stargazing, that can I take a picture, bro? He's like, for sure. How's your day? He's just got that about him. Like he's just calm in his body. He's not arrogant. He's not having to show up for anybody. I'm really excited about him.
Yeah, definitely a good kid, man. Before we get up out of here, this is something. It's not boxing, but it's combat sports, right? This hour has been moving by pretty fast. Mr. Neutral says Moses versus Worley in 2026. Will gonna be the trainer?
Well, I was going to say, listen to Trill and Mr. Neutral. What'll happen is if Wardley breaks from Ben Davidson, then because Ben Davidson is not letting Moses go anywhere. So if we see some movement in the next 6 months that Wardley's changed trainers, then what's on the horizon.
Yeah, definitely. The boxing, not boxing world, just combat sports world was. I'm gonna start off with the rumors. This was the first rumor that I heard. News reports first came out that Rampage Jackson's son was banned off a kick and he was locked up for beating up a man who was flatlined in the ring, and the fighter could possibly be dead. That was the first report. Second reports came out, but that was all a rumor because Rampage Jr. spoke for the first time about his son brutally beating up a wrestler and nearly killing him. He said, I want to clear up the misinformation about my son. I've been confirmed that the wrestler is awake and stable. My son was unexpectedly hit in the side of the head moments before the match, and he was told that he can get his payback in the ring. I thought it was a part of the show. It was a bad judgment and work went wrong. That was what he was saying. But prior to that, he was telling reporters that he saved up bail money for his son because he knew his son wasn't going to go to college. And after seeing this footage, I'm thinking that they might need this bail money. You know what I'm saying? Have you heard about the situation?
Yeah. It's
this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna show what happened first, and then we're gonna show the reaction because we're men, and we know for every action there's a reaction.
Yep.
But sometimes the reaction might not fit the crime. But we're gonna let our viewers, and shout out to all our viewers that's tapped in right now, watching us right now. I appreciate you from the heart. It means more than you will ever know. And shout out to my special guest for today, the Boxing Man. I really appreciate you for coming through. Let's get into this footage. And y'all tell me, does the punishment fit the crime?
You don't know me?
Hell no. Yeah.
Hey, hey, I think that's what.
Oh, you don't show it? Easy. He's not a fucking worker, bro. Calm down.
Yeah, what the fuck was that?
You're good.
What the fuck was that?
You don't show it?
No, he's not a fucking worker, bro.
What the fuck was that? Hold on. I don't play that shit, bro.
Oh, sorry.
Nah, I will fuck him up, bro.
I know you will. We're good.
I will fuck.
Once again, I'd like to apologize. First of all, I want to apologize for the language. If anybody got any kids around them or anything, I apologize for the language. Once again, that was a clip of Rampage's son being hit with a beer can over the top of his head. And once again, you could tell that he was disturbed by what happened, and was saying, the guys was also saying, like, hey, he's not a wrestler. He's not part of this show. Like, why would you do that to him? And, you know, he's sitting there in shock. You tell he looked embarrassed. But this is how he got his payback, I guess, because I guess he was told he can get his payback. Yeah, very unfortunate. Here, this was the situation right here. This is how him getting his get back. Once again, I apologize. It might be disturbing for some people to watch. And once again, I apologize. I'm just reporting the news.
Hey, you gotta stop this shit, man. Hey. Stop this shit, man.
Yeah. Yeah. I seen that. I was like, wow. I get it. And he was embarrassed. I just think he went a little bit overboard. But I just hope that the fighter, like Mr. Neutral said in the comment section, I hope that the fighter makes a full recovery. I just feel like I get why he was upset, but I just think it was too much. It was overkill. What is your thoughts on this, the footage that you just seen?
First of all, obviously, yeah, blessings for the wrestler. I mean, it's not nice to see, and hope he makes a full recovery. Ultimately, you said it at the start of this, when we can speak like men, right? We can, you know, I'm not condoning violence in the street, but if ever you've ever got yourself into a situation, retribution usually happens right at the point. So if he gets a can wrapped around his neck and the next minute he's throwing an overhand right or he's wrapping a chair around his back, we'll probably forgive him. But the fact of the matter is that type of premeditated, not in the heat of the moment, retribution is quite psychotic, Trill, because he's out.
Yeah.
And look, if you've ever hit, if you rightly or wrongly, but if you've ever hit a man a certain way and they go out, you know when they're out. You know, like, and I would say it's probably he's not out straight away with the headbang, and then he misses him with the first shot, and I think it's like the second or third shot, he's out, and then he proceeds to do about 10 to 12 more shots. That's scary. And I seen a clip from somebody saying that he's going to have to go and sit down for a little bit, and he was obviously referring to he's going to have to go and take some jail time here and rebuild his life, because that is just it's not normal the way those things went down. Not normal.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely thought it was overkill, and I think it was a little bit excessive. As far as jail time, though, I with a good lawyer, I think that these guys will probably settle out of court.
Oh, listen, 100%. And you talked about, like, you know, and then I think there's a clip of the boy saying, I need to make my own money, I need to step out of my dad's shadow and things like that. And there's all these clips surfacing now. But if he does escape jail, it'll become a supervillain. Yeah. This is the way this world works, Trill. It'll become a supervillain, it'll become super famous, and it'll become super rich. So based off that, the royalties you're right. Somebody will get hold and outside of court and drop everything, and both men will probably see good money out of this. But I mean, look, we ought to talk about the moment in hand. You just can't condone that. I mean, in one breath, I'm saying retribution is retribution in the moment. You still can't condone that, really. Violence on the street is what it is. But if he'd have been wailing on him and having 10 guys being pulled off him right there at that cookout or whatever they were at, you'd forgive it. You'd say, well, hold on a minute, he just got a can smashed on the back of his neck. Like, but the fact that he's gone in there, he slammed him and he's gone, repeatedly punched him, and you could tell he's gone. You could tell he was gone, couldn't you? Because the boys were trying to hold him down. That's how you know he's gone.
Yeah, I agree with you, Mr. Neutral. There's more to come. Yeah, I think that, they already starting to, ban them from certain things. A lot of people looked at this, especially because this is a war veteran that he did this to.
Yeah.
With PTSD, and a lot of people just, is kind of coming to his age. So this might be really bad for the young man. But we're here at, once again, shout out to everybody that has tuned in. This hour flew by. I gotta have you on here once again with me. That was dope having you today. We got a chance to, and everybody, if you just tuned in late, please go back and watch this episode. We had a chance to chop it up and some good conversation. Not the typical conversation that you would hear on these boxing spaces. We actually took it somewhere else. We're men of respect here. We're not here to bash anybody and come in a disrespectful way. Like, I've noticed that boxing became more clickbait, more of I could say the most disrespectful thing, to try to get somebody to come. That's not what I'm here for. I'm here to bring love to the sport that I love so much. With that being said, thank you, Boxing Man, for coming on the show and spending this time with me. I appreciate you. Shout out to the viewers that tapped in as well. Shout out to everybody that was in the comment section that stopped in to say what's up. Shout out to Capital Kev. Capital Kev got his show every Friday. Make sure that y'all tap into that and check out my man Capital Kev on his show. Make sure that y'all go and follow my man, the Boxing Man, on Twitter or X, and check him out on these spaces. He actually got a space coming up on Red Corner Boxing. You got to tap in there, and with him and some beautiful other boxing minds like Mr. Neutral, the classic one, and shout out to James as well. Before we get out of here, I also wanted to mention there's been talks. What do you think? Ortiz versus Lubin. I think it's a great fight at 154. What are your thoughts on that fight?
It's a great fight. Talk about fan-friendly fights. That's one of them. I don't know. I'm ready to see something from both of these fighters. Something that breaks them out even bigger in terms of a global name. So I'm all for that fight. Great fight. Yeah,
I think that's a good fight, man. We got more boxing coming. People say that boxing is dead. Somebody said that a long time ago, that the boxing is dead. I don't believe that at all. I believe that boxing will be here for more time to come.
This game, listen, this game has its ups and downs. We fall out with it. We fall out of love with it. You see one of your favorite fighters getting knocked out in front of 96,000 people. Trill, you have to take a load of abuse online about your boys. And guess what? Next day we wake up, we're back. And because we love the game. The game is the game. And when shout out to my boy G Chain. I don't know if you follow G Chain, but he puts out he's my guy, and he puts out the retro fights, and it's just like, it's so cool to see, like, even boxing from the 70s, 80s, 90s. And guess what? When we're 20 years down the line, someone's going to be putting clips up of what we're watching right now, Trill. Definitely. So at the end of the day, boxing is not dead. It just has its ups and downs, but with the ones that love it or continue to love it forever.
Nah, I totally agree with you. Because I was sitting there. Shout out to G Chan. I'm actually have him as a guest on the show as well. I love how he brings up the old throwback fights. It reminds me of my childhood. I look young, but I'm really old. Bringing up those good old days in the 80s. You know what I'm saying? When we had the Thomas, the Hitman Hearns, we had the Haglers, the Ray Leonards, the Durans, the Gomez's, that era of boxing, the Riddick Bulls. He brings me back to my childhood, man. So I definitely gotta have him on. Shout out to him. Make sure that y'all go follow D Chen and get y'all history up. on this great sport that we love so much, the sport of boxing. Once again, I want to thank you, the Boxing Man, for coming on this show and just being one of those guys, man. It's always a pleasure to be able to talk boxing with you. When I see you have an interview on, I always click on anything that you're doing. I make sure to show love, man, because you're definitely one of them ones. So I definitely wanted to have you on the show and give you your flowers. Once again, thank you for tuning in to this episode of the Commissioner's Recap, hosted by me, Rae Trilogy. And don't forget to go and get my new single, Topic of Discussion, out now on all streaming services. Shout out to everybody that's watching right now. I really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. We are out of here. Thank you.
Feels good. We the topic of discussion. Whisper in the ear, had a blush. Saying what it is, what it was. Baby, we the topic of discussion. Do you want to roll with a boss? You don't gotta worry about the cost. I'm high up, baby, I'm a star. I'm highly up, baby, I'm in charge.